Okay, welcome everyone. So it's going to be just a few minutes while we wait for everyone to get the notification that we're live, for everyone to get signed in. It's not quite 7 o'clock yet. I just wanted to get signed on early to make sure that everything worked right, because this is the first time that I've been on YouTube live. So welcome. I'm going to go ahead and share this out, let people know that we are live. So give me just a few minutes here. Feel free to use the chat. Let me know how you're doing. How is this full moon treating you? How are you feeling with this eclipse as well? Maybe I'll put that in the chat. Okay, so I'm just going to share this. I feel like I should have some music playing or something. Okay, so I've shared on Facebook, and I'm just gonna also let people know on my personal page. Excuse me. Okay, perfect. All right, well, I'm going to play some music while we wait for the next 5 minutes or so, just so that we can drop in here. I'll play this little this vibration while we get all settled. So as you get signed in here, we're just going to wait a few minutes. We'll wait about 5 minutes overall for everyone to connect. And as you wait, feel free to drop into a little bit of deep breathing. Take this time to connect and slow down. Let go of your energy, anything that might be creating tension in the body, any energy that's not serving you right now, anything that's making you feel anxious or heightened. Let's try to shake that off, letting go. And it is going to bother me that these curtains are off, so I'm going to fix the curtains while we wait. So for those of you that may be new tuning into me, this used to be a window outside, but now it's being converted into a new addition on our home. And so there's no window anymore. So I just have a curtain here. But it's going to bother me if all of those plates are off to one side. And of course, we're in this Gemini energy, which is the twins, and I'm a Libra, and Libras and Geminis kind of vibe together because we're both about balance. Gemini has that number 2 energy, and then Libras love the scales. And so we're just going to even out that curtain to get everything worked out. All right. And this is an example of fidgety full moon energy. So this is a little bit different. Normally I do these circles on Zoom. So welcome if you're just tuning into YouTube for the first time. I appreciate you tuning in to my super grainy MacBook camera. I'm probably going to have to get a webcam that's a little bit clearer, but for now it will do because I'm just trying to see what works, if people prefer Zoom or if they prefer YouTube. So as you get signed in tonight, feel free to use the chat. Feel free to say hi. Let me know who you are, where you're from, if I know you or not. Like I said, I can't see who's there right now, so just kind of feel free to utilize that chat to check in. This is a community circle, so this is a place for all of us to kind of open up and share as well. So I'm going to wait just one more minute here for everyone to get settled in, and then we will officially get started with our circle. I'm wondering if it would help to put some light on me. Yeah, it does. Okay. Give me a moment. I gotta figure out how I want to do this. I had a mount on my phone break off today. So I've had to be a little innovative about what I do here for lighting. That's a little bit better, but I also don't want that light like right in my face the whole time. Well, you know what? We might just have to do it without the lighting, and that's okay. I'm experimenting, like I said, so thanks for bearing with me. Okay, I think that we are going to officially get started. I'm going to take a moment to take a deep breath and slow down. I do invite you to do the same wherever you are. Feel free to find a comfortable place. Feel free to close your eyes. Just take some deep breaths in and out. Notice how you're feeling right now. Take a check-in. There's no judgment. Just notice any feelings, emotions that are moving through, any thoughts in your mind that are grabbing your attention right now. Take note of it all. And take some deeper breaths in and out of your body, really sinking into those exhales, letting go of tension. And as you let go of tension, it creates more room for the breath, and those deeper breaths help you release more tension. It's an endless loop and cycle. Keep breathing here. Keep checking in. Just slow down. Let go of your day. Let go of however the moon has affected you so far. Let go of any future expectations. Let go of any attachments or judgments or frequencies that do not serve. And maybe take one or two more deep breaths into this feeling of slowing down. Whenever you're ready, start to blink your eyes open. Welcome back. I am going to turn down this music. And if you are just signing in, feel free to use the chat. Say hi. Let me know where you're from, how you're doing with this moon. And if you are new to tuning in with me, my name is Vina Lene. I am a moon priestess and channeler of the divine. I bring in astrological insights every new and full moon. And as I said in the beginning, typically I do these on Zoom, but I'm trying out YouTube and just kind of checking out things here. So welcome. And if I were to be able to do this on my iPhone, it would look a lot clearer. I'm on my laptop right now, but YouTube has a thing about not letting you use your iPhone for live streams if you don't have enough followers or hours of viewing yet. So if you want to help me out, feel free to check out some of my other content on this channel. Feel free to invite others to follow me and feel free to share. I really appreciate all of your support. So we are going to start by dropping into our moon circle with a few deep breaths. We already took a moment to meditate and slow down, but let's take another inhale kind of at our heart space. Take an open mouth exhale. Just release any tension, let it all go. And then we'll inhale, reach overhead. Open mouth exhale to the heart. And maybe one more time, releasing any noise or vibrations that you need. And welcome to this space that we're sharing right now. I'm going to begin to build an actual circle of the 5 elements. This is something I do with every moon circle, both new moon and full. And you can build your own moon circle using your own elements at home with me right now, or after this in your own ceremony, or you can just take in the energies of the elements that I brought into this circle. The first element that I have is the gemstone peach moonstone. And this is a really beautiful peach moonstone. You can see that reflection right there. And it's kind of an eclipsed moon. If you notice, it's got like this darkness that comes over and the light that pops back in as you move it around. You can see that happening there. And I love peach moonstone when we have eclipses because you can see this darker red. And whenever we're in total lunar eclipses, we have blood moons. Now, we were only in a penumbral partial lunar eclipse, so we didn't have that this time around. But this peach moonstone is representative of lunar eclipse energy. So that's why we're using this tonight. I'm also bringing in the energy of citrine, which I'm wearing today. So you can see that this yellow around my necklace, I've got a yellow tassel here as well. This is reminding us of the sun and solar plexus energy. Anytime we're in a full moon, we've got the sun energy shining down, and we are on the opposite side of the sun right now. So currently our sun is in the sign of Sagittarius, and the moon is on the other side in Gemini. So we're just being reminded of that solar energy right now that's a little bit more vibrant with this moon. I've also brought in the earth element of Palo Santo, and I don't always use this for a full moon, but this particular full moon is kind of a time of new beginnings. It's a unique full moon because it has this lunar eclipse. So I'm bringing in a wood that really reminds me of new beginnings because Palo Santo has been dead for many years before it's collected. It creates a resin that when you combine it with the element of fire, it starts to alchemize and produce a smoke off of that resin. And that smoke is very spiritually cleansing, very spiritually supportive. And, you know, right now, this is a really potent, powerful moon for calling on guidance from our ancestors. So a lot of times I like to think of Palo Santo as the generational wood because it does take years before we collect it, before it's effective. So this is a time to look back on our past. With this full moon, we're taking in generational wisdom. We're reflecting on our own past, our own history. We're looking at our roots. And we're taking in all the wisdom versus the regret. We're allowing ourselves to see insight from our past and maybe even past lives. This Palo Santo can really connect you to that past life grid. And you can reflect there as well. And I'm also going to send this smoke out to the ether, which we're connected to right now, this technology that we're sharing this full moon circle with and all of the communication that comes through. We just want it all to be clear. We want the messages to be clear. And we want the distractions to be very little, if at all. And I'm also cleansing the space I'm in, so everything that I channel through is clear as well. So we'll continue to let that Palo Santo burn out. So we've brought in the element of earth, we've brought in the element of fire and the element of air through wind and smoke. Now we're going to bring in the element of water. I have wild orange here, and I actually have it in a essential oil spray. But wild orange is the oil of abundance. And we're being reminded right now with this full moon that we have a lot of abundance. We just have to view it in a different way. And one thing that's really great about Gemini energy is Gemini switches their focus really quickly, and they don't have a lot of attachment with what they leave behind. And I think that that's great for the full moon energy, but also with this eclipse portal that we're in. We also have this room spray bringing in the water, and this just kind of helps to clear the smoke from the smudge, but it also brings in that scent and that energy all around in the air that I'm going to breathe in here. And then, of course, we have the ether, the fifth element, and that's the element we're sharing. I already mentioned this withstands space and time. This is a place that no matter if you're tuning in live or through the replay, you're still receiving this energy, and you can take in everything that these elements have to offer as well. And with that, all of these elements are gathered and our circle is officially sealed. Let's take a deep breath together, bringing in all of these energies. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale back down and just relax, let go. And let me know how you're doing in the chat. If you'd like to check in and participate, let me know how this lunar eclipse or this full moon has been treating you. Are there any Geminis on the transmission, or do you have Gemini energy in your chart? This could be a moon that really affects you, if so. And let's talk about eclipses and full moons. So full moons, I already mentioned, it's a time when the sun is shining down. The moon is opposite the sun. The earth is in between. And we're taking in that energy that's opposite of the current sun sign of Sagittarius, which is Gemini. And the full moon itself brings in heightened energy. That's because our energy is pulled up to the moon. Gravity is weaker on earth. We just don't feel as grounded, and it makes us feel kind of weird. It also throws off our balance. So this is a time when we are in more danger to injure ourselves. There's more trips to an emergency room during a full moon than any other time of year. It's just a time that we need to, be mindful and really pay attention to our earthly bodies in this earthly human experience, so we don't throw ourselves off even more than our energy already is naturally with the moon. Now you throw in a lunar eclipse on top of that, and things get a little weird. You start to feel like you're in a reset or a time loop or a deja vu. And you might even find during this time that history is repeating itself. You might be making the same choices over again. You might have people from your past popping up again. I like to describe this as a time. It's kind of like a Mercury retrograde on hyperspeed, because in a Mercury retrograde over a series of weeks, people, places, things, memories, things pop up from your past to bring you wisdom, to help you to make change, to help you express your life and yourself in a different way. But when you experience an eclipse, it's like a flash forward because you get it all at once. So if you have experienced anything in the past 24 hours or so that's just kind of come out of the woodwork, or a memory or something that's really coming to light, this is that eclipse energy. And it can also just make you feel a little bit more off the normal. So even if you have nothing from your past popping up, you may just feel a little bit different, because eclipses are like a reset for the programming that we have inside of us. Now, if we're not out directly underneath the moon during the eclipse, or kind of that moonlight right after, then it's not really going to affect our programming in our energy body. But if you did happen to go out underneath the eclipsed moon around 3 a.m. or after last night and early this morning, You might want to take an opportunity tonight to take a shower and kind of really cleanse and reset your energy, because you did get that stronger reprogramming or that deletion of things that were in your energetic DNA code. So, if you didn't go out under the moon, you might still feel a little weird, and that's okay. This is a really great time for you to just slow down, turn within, take some deep breaths, initiate some self care, and maybe just do things that make you feel good, or do things that you think are fun, things that make you happy. Because typically full moons are a time to socialize, but right now, this moon, this eclipse tells us to stay indoors and to just turn in to the energy that we have within ourselves and any messages that might be wanting to come through right now. So, this moon does want us to initiate some acts of self care by turning within. And then we also have to bring in this Gemini influence. So, Gemini is the sign of the twins, and the twins remind us to take a look at ourselves, to take a look in the mirror, to maybe pause and reflect and ask ourselves, how are we feeling? It was one of the first questions I asked you tonight. How are you feeling? Check in, see how you're doing. And then if you're not feeling so great, if you're feeling off, if you're just not feeling in that alignment, take care of yourself and do things that make you feel good. Gemini energy also really likes things that are aesthetically pleasing. So, Geminis are into what they are into, and they like to surround themselves in it. So, what are you into? I know for me, one of the things that I love are crystals, and they're everywhere right now, all around me in my office. I reset up my altar recently, and I've got crystals around me right now. And then, other things that are aesthetically pleasing to me are things from my travels from India, because 3 years ago during this time, I was in India going through a huge transformational journey. It actually put me on this path where I am now. Veena is the spiritual name I received on my India pilgrimage. And so it's a really important time for me. So I have this beautiful shawl that was gifted to me by one of my sisters while I was there on the trip. And then I've got my meditation shawl that's been on all my travels through my spiritual journeys, including 5 years ago in Mexico at my yoga teacher training, when I made the commitment that at some point in the future, I was going to go to India. So I have some of these kind of creature comforts around as well. And you can surround yourself with whatever feels good. So use this opportunity to kind of check in with your spaces and ask yourself, do they support you? Full moons are a time of cleansing, they're a time of release. This lighting up of the moon is a representation of the solar energy shining down, this solar light. And this is also representative of that solar fire, and fire is transformative. So when we burn things, they're not the same after. And it's time to kind of do the same with your spaces. Make them different than they were before. Clutter clean, tidy up, surround yourself in aesthetics that make you feel good. Maybe smudge your spaces, really cleanse the air, because your whole house took a little reset last night with this eclipse. Your sacred spaces, your office. I certainly feel a different vibe in my home, my house, a little bit in my yoga studio. I was there for just a moment today, but I'm feeling a different vibe in the energy. And so sometimes if we smudge, it just kind of cleanses out anything that's stuck and resets everything for good. Remember to open your windows or keep a crack somewhere in your doors or whatever to let all of that air out and all of that stagnant, stuck energy. Give it somewhere to go. Let it go out to the rest of the world. It's kind of like osmosis. It'll just automatically diffuse out to those outer spaces away from the smoke. Okay, I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to pause for just a moment, and then we are going to continue to move forward talking about the Vedic influence of this full moon. I'm getting a little sinusy. And real quick, eclipses are a time that you can be affected kind of in your throat chakra. So communication, but also in the form of like your thyroid and also just overall health and wellness. This kind of vibrates in your throat chakra. Eclipses are known to affect your health and kind of reset your programming in that nature as well. So you might find yourself dealing with the same health issues again, but there's a reason that that's happening. It's because the way you tried to treat it before didn't work, and it's time to approach it in a different way. Eclipses are always kind of a second chance for us. They give us an opportunity to try something different, to do something in a different way. And it's funny that I didn't even think about that when I made the decision to do YouTube this time around, when I actually scheduled this live and made the decision to try out a moon circle here. I didn't realize that it was going to be with this lunar eclipse energy, which supports us to try something different. So here we are. This is the energy that we're in with the eclipse. Okay, so in Vedic astrology, I like to talk about the Vedic side of things as well, because it does have a similar influence on what's going on, but there's always a different perspective. And in the Vedic side of things, we see our moon in different nakshatras or lunar mansions. This is in Rohini nakshatra, and this is represented as the red eye of the Taurus bull. This is a very fertile star. Taurus is fertile energy, and you might be feeling the energy to really create right now. You might want to actually get artistic, doing things with your hands, painting, drawing, writing, journaling, crafting. I've been crafting. I've been finally making one of my earthly dreams and desires come true, and that's something that Taurus energy is about. It's about living out this earthly life and making the most of it and doing what you want to do, not caring about anything else along the way. And for over a year now, I've been saying that I'm going to craft Reiki infused, lunar charged, essential oil bath salts. And I also said, I really want to make bath bombs with crystals inside. And guess what started happening this week with this full moon energy? I started getting really crafty. And even over the past couple of hours before I jumped on this transmission, I was making some third eye bath bombs and some muscle relief bath salts. So I'm really excited about that. So, that's kind of the energy we're in right now with this Rohini Nakshatra. It's inviting us to get crafty, to get creative, to kind of move our energy through, because another energy you think about with the bull is kind of that stubborn, angry energy. And eclipsed energy and full moon energy, it's a time when we feel a little angsty. We feel a little stubborn because we feel stuck. We feel like, hey, this is a full moon. We're halfway through the cycle. We should keep moving forward. But the eclipse says, oh no, we're going to just repeat a cycle. Karma's coming around again. And so as you come back to the same stuff again and again, you might find yourself frustrated. So when you get creative, it kind of moves that frustrated energy through, or it moves any stuck lower frequency through, so you can continue to vibrate all the way through and vibrate at your highest level. Rohini Nakshatra, I mentioned, is a very fertile star. So this is a very fertile moon. This does support fertility itself, but also fertile dreams, the fertile seeds that you've planted. You're now, or I guess, throwing fertilizer on the seeds you planted, but you're, nurturing these things and allowing them to grow. And you're kind of just trusting the process along the way. And this can be a really hard thing for us to do, to just trust that things are going to work out, especially when you're presented with the same crossroads or the same choice, and you finally decide to make that different choice and you go that different direction. It can feel a little off at first. So we have to remind ourselves to just trust and go with our gut and follow our inner beacon, follow our inner light where it's guiding us, because this is how we're going to continue to move through during these times that are just super confusing, times that are really unknown when it comes to the future. So trust your inside and where you're going there. And if you don't know what to do at all, just get creative and move your energy, and you'll find yourself getting unstuck that way as well. Oh, okay. So we have Sagittarius influence just a little bit right now. I mentioned that the full moon inhibits the energy of the opposite of our sun season. And so Sagittarius is excuse me, the huntress, the go after what she wants. Sagittarius can be a bit of the dreamer as well. She's a traveler, she thinks about all the places that she wants to go. Sagittarius energy loves to learn. She loves to dive into the wisdom and knowledge of things. She loves learning about different cultures. She loves learning how things work, but she usually has to actually go there and experience it, kind of drop in fully to really get it and to really understand it. And she really just doesn't feel complete until she's able to do that. She sees her target, she goes after what she wants, and then she gets it. Now, right now, we are in Gemini energy just for now, just for this full moon portal for the next couple of days. And we started this energy a couple of days ago. But Gemini is just the opposite of that. So Gemini is this air sign, and it's a little airy along the way. Geminis, like I mentioned, they can kind of go from thing to thing without really any attachment. They can dive deeply into learning about something just like that Sagittarius energy, but then they can kind of just let it go and move on, and it's no big deal. And that is a bit of a guidance that's coming through from the cosmos right now. So if you've been kind of into something, but now you're kind of getting into something else, let that other thing go, unless you want to hold on to it. But, does it serve you? Maybe the full moon is bringing light to it because it doesn't. Or maybe you just turn this into a very simple hobby where it doesn't take a lot of your time and you put a lot of your energy into the other thing that's been calling your attention. I mentioned that Geminis love things that are aesthetically pleasing to them. They like to surround themselves in the things that make them feel good or things that bring them good energy. Sagittarius is more like, I'm going to go put myself right into that place or thing that's really been making me feel good, that's really been drawing my attention right now. So that's the difference right now. Geminis do love to travel, but this isn't really a time to do the traveling like Sagittarius energy does. This is a time to dream about the travel. This is the time to plan the travel. And we all know right now we can't really travel anyway, not a lot because of what's going on in the world. So it's a time to daydream about where you see your future and where you see your future travels and where you want to go once things become easier. Once that door of opportunity opens up to you, where do you want to go from here? And this can be a really fun project for you to do right now as well. And I just got to clear my throat for a moment. I'm going to grab a drink of water. Okay. And Gemini is also the sign of the twin. So the Sagittarius energy is very independent. She's kind of a go-getter, the huntress, she hunts, she takes care of herself, she provides for herself. But then we have the Gemini energy that, again, she takes care of herself and she provides for herself and she has a very strong, independent energy, but she can also be her own worst enemy. And that's a really important question to be asking yourself right now. Are you right now your own best friend, or are you your own worst enemy? And maybe you're somewhere on the scale in between, but you really need to ask yourself right now, are you supporting yourself? Are you supporting your dreams? Are you supporting the things you want to put your energy towards? Are you supporting yourself and helping yourself feel good? Are you supporting yourself by surrounding yourself in good energy and preparing spaces with good energy? Are you really taking care of yourself, or are you doing the opposite? Are you making excuses? Are you standing in the way? I'm just going to be honest right now and say I've been a little guilty of this side of things, this shadow side of the Gemini energy. I've been feeling myself kind of making excuses and getting stuck and then feeling frustrated, but it's kind of partially my fault. And I've been really owning up to that during this full moon. I've noticed that I'm kind of developing a new take charge feeling with my life. Let me know if you're feeling the same way. Let me know if any of this is resonating with you. So, are you your own worst enemy? Are you blocking your evolution? Are you standing in the way of your growth? Are you finding yourself back in that same pattern on that same path when you had the choice to go a different way? Did you go down the same road with this eclipse? Or do you feel yourself kind of going down that road now? It's never too late to change. This is one of my favorite mantras. It's never too late to change. Back it up, go in reverse, and take the other path if you know now that this is where you need to go. Trust in your internal gut. That's something that's really important to do. And Geminis do that really strongly. They kind of just trust their gut and they go with it. They make choices pretty easily. Like I said, there's no attachment. They don't go back and forth all the time. Okay, so I hope you have some guidance with this full moon. I said in the beginning, you might want to have something to write with or write down. I have just my journal here, but I just want you to maybe take a moment. You can do it now, or you can do it after this circle is done. I want you to write down some of the things that might be standing in your way right now. Just in general, full moon energy. Is there any people, place, thing, etc., standing in your way of your growth, of your evolution, of your happiness? Can you write that down? Just write it down on your list, whatever it is. And if you're not going to write it down now, just take a few deep breaths. Just think about it. Think what comes to mind. And then also things that you want to write down with this full moon energy. As you take a good reflection of yourself, your life, your past experiences, your current state, what do you see? Are you supporting yourself? Are you blocking yourself? Can you write down the things that might be blocking you? They're coming directly from your own energy. Gemini is an energetic mirror. She reflects back to us everything that we're emitting out, everything that we put out in our mood, our energy, frequency, that attracts the experiences that we have back. It's the energetic exchange that we have with another person. It's the energetic exchange that we have in a space that we're in. It's all the things that start coming to us and surrounding us. It's the way that we feel. It's what we put out in the beginning that attracted that back. So notice if there's anything blocking you. And then whenever you're done with that list, these are all the things that might not be serving you on your journey right now. And once you're done with this circle here live on YouTube or watching the replay, you're just going to tear up that list. You can also burn it. You can do whatever you want to destroy it, but I want you to let go of these things with ease, just like that Gemini non-attachment, surrender to the letting go process. And that way that thing will no longer serve you, that person, that place, that experience. It's going to affect you in a different way. You're going to be able to grow from here. So I'm going to take a deep breath here. I'm going to grab a drink of water. If you have any questions, any comments, anything that you would like to say, feel free to put it in the chat. I am going to share a tarot reading for tonight's full moon. And I want to mention that tonight's full moonlight isn't as strong as last night's or this morning's with the eclipse. So if you're out under the moon tonight, don't feel like it's a bad omen, or if you feel bad that you already set your crystals and stuff out, it's okay. Just know that they might have been reprogrammed or cleared out, cleansed. So you just need to reprogram everything. It's no big deal. And over the next couple of days, this full moon will start to wane and we won't even have that energy with us anymore. So we just take time out with this portal to kind of see what's going on and how things are affecting us. I said I was going to take that deep breath. I have that full moon energy with me tonight. Okay. So some things that have been coming up for me. Repeated cycles. My sister messaged me, contacted me for the first time in 6 years. I haven't known where she is for a little over a year now. I wrote about my sibling wound a few months ago. It's just been a really strange dynamic that was set up with our mother. I was really responsible for my sister more than I should have been. And she just messaged me recently as we've built up to this full moon. She messaged me within this lunar cycle. And so I've found that a really interesting crossroads and a repeat pattern of something from my past and a way to redirect. We're really trying to reconcile and moving from our heart space out of it. And I've taken a pause during this eclipse to just be mindful of what I'm going to say because I know my throat chakra is affected right now. So I'll be reaching out to her more in the next couple of days once I meditate and slow down and breathe with it. I have found my own patterns of kind of like guilt and mom shame, feeling like I'm getting away this next weekend, taking time for myself. And I haven't been able to do this since before my baby was born. So it's been almost 2 years. And I found myself having a little bit of guilt and a little bit of shame, feeling like I've got to make up for this time I'm going to be away by spending as much time as possible here and now in the present moment. And I mean, that's a good thing, but I have work to do and I have things going on. And I'm kind of putting myself behind in the process of feeling guilty that I need to spend more time with my husband and my child and just kind of make up for this time that I'm going to be away. So that's been a pattern I'm trying to break. Today, I really took time most of the day and I got my newsletter out and wrote about the moon and got prepared for the circle that we're doing tonight and got creative and made some of my apothecary products. And so, yeah, these are the real life examples of just what I'm going through, just to be transparent, some things that have come up for me. Don't see anything in the chat right now, so I think we'll move on to the tarot reading, and then beyond that, we'll just take a few deep breaths and our circle will be sealed. This is a different, my throat chakra is affected here. Give me a moment. This is a different full moon than usual. The vibrations, the frequencies are a little bit different than usual. So I'm not going to spend as much time in our circle as usual because I just don't have so much to transmit. Now, if you're on my email list, you got a little bit of guidance on how to celebrate this moon, and I'll be posting some things on social media if you want to check that out. You can also go to my website under Moon Musings to read about this moon a little bit further in detail. But I do have these cards, and I always pull cards with the moon and the new moon and the full moon, and I like to share those for a little bit of guidance. So I'm going to take a deep breath just to make sure that I've dropped in to channel everything that needs to come through. Calling on whatever messages that need to be received by us right now, whatever we resonate with in these cards, let it be known to us now. Let us take in the wisdom of what the tarot has to offer. And let everything that I say be said as it needs to be said. So I typically pull 3 cards, a past, present, and future card. I did the same for tonight. And with our past card, I pulled the Temperance card. And I love this because with our previous moon circle, our new moon, I did pull the Temperance card as the future card. And there's a Sagittarius sign here. So I did literally pull the Sagittarius card for our past. I mentioned that we're still in this Sagittarius energy. We've just come into the Gemini energy for now with this full moon. We're going to still be in that, solar season of Sagittarius. So this card is just reminding us that we're still there. I love this card because it's got this angel and she's got 1 foot on land and 1 foot in water. And she's reminding us to, stay balanced with our emotions. I mentioned that these eclipses can make us feel off. They can make us feel weird. They can make our energy feel heightened. We can feel emotionally unstable. We can feel overwhelmed. So she's reminding us to calmly move these emotions through. So she's pouring the water from one cup to the other, and she's doing it very carefully. She's not spilling a drop. Emotion, energy in motion. This is a time to move our energy through. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling imbalanced, if you're feeling shaky, if you're feeling out of alignment, move that energy through. And that's where we get this artistic, creative energy of the full moon right now. The Rohini Nakshatra, the Gemini energy, that artsy energy, creative flow. This is what is happening right now. So the Temperance card is reminding us to just patiently move things through. Do it in a mindful way. We are in control of our emotions. We are in control of our ability to regain balance. And there's also some irises here for hope, reminding us that even though the past has been a little dark, a little crazy, a little emotionally overwhelming, that there is hope, that everything will be well, all is well. There's an angel on this card, this angel of temperance. And one thing that's really been coming through with me and my channelings lately is that the angels are protecting us. They're surrounding planet Earth, these entities of pure divine light. They're protecting us right now. So this angel is reminding us that we're always protected. They're always here watching over us. And then we've got the green and the blue of the card, reminding us of throat and heart, to take deep breaths, to just relax, and to maybe be mindful that our throat chakra has been affected, right? We've been dealing with respiratory virus, but also might still just kind of be affecting us. It's not just behind us yet. The blue is still flowing through in front of us. So we've just got to prepare for what's ahead with patience and hope, and move our emotions through as quickly as we can when we feel stuck and we feel low. Okay. I pulled two reverse my throat chakra's off today, guys. I pulled two reversed cards for our next two cards. For the present card, I pulled the Four of Swords. Now, swords are always a symbol of letting go, cutting ties, release. And the Four of Swords in particular, in the reversed phase, reminds us that this is a time of slowing down, that you might be forced into slowing down right now. So it might be with your job, or you might find yourself in ill health right now. Eclipses are a time when we experience different things in our energy, and we might find ourselves unwell. I'm perfectly healthy. By the way, I just have a little throat thing going on there for a moment. Thanks from the Palo Santo smoke. Actually, let's take a little spray here, and that'll help open up the airways. Okay. So this Four of Swords is saying that there's, maybe been a forced separation. So maybe it's with work, maybe it's with something else, maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're feeling distanced from somebody right now, and it's out of your control. It's out of your hands. And maybe this is happening on purpose from that person, or maybe it's not, but it's your perception. Well, first off, if there's anything that's causing that separation, that forceful separation, this dividing line, can you find peace? Can you start to resurrect? Can you find conclusion over whatever argument it is, or can you set it aside? Because I think a lot of times, this Four of Swords reversed is reminding us to take the higher road this time around, or to embrace the gift of what we have in the present moment. The separation is a gift. The time out is a gift. This eclipse, this full moon energy, the full moon is usually a time when we're social, we're wild and free, we have fun, but we can't do that right now. We're socially distancing. And the eclipse energy naturally guides us to tune within. So use this time to your advantage. Use the space from somebody else. If this is a forced separation in a relationship of some sort, maybe use the distance and the silence to really reflect. Remember that we're in eclipse energy. It's karma energy. You don't want to repeat the same cycle with this person. You don't want to have the same thing repeat itself time and time again and make you feel the same way. So just make a commitment to reflect and begin to make change now. Take abundance out of what there is to offer in this situation. You've got the red of the root chakra. This does remind us that can be a time of new beginnings. And we've got the pink of the card that reminds us to move through our heart chakra along the process. So just viewing everything with gratitude, changing your frequency and perception about how you feel and see things right now. And then also for our future card reversed, I have the Three of Swords. So we have another sword card. We're reminding us that we're continuing to cut ties, cut cords. And 3, the Trinity, 3 is a very magical number. It's an alchemical number. And, we're in the 3rd season right now. We're in autumn, but we're moving onward into the 4th season. And I think that this 3 of Swords is reminding us to get ready, that there's still ties to be severed. There's still cords to be cut. There's still shifts to be made, redirection to happen. And we have to trust in it all. The Three of Swords can also represent a kind of a time of distancing. In general, it's more of a change and an opportunity in the distance. It's not necessarily a vacation, but it might not be forced. It might be more of voluntary, or it might be something you're doing out of your own accord. For the greater good or for yourself. Remember, I mentioned self-care is really important right now in this lunar cycle and with this eclipse. So the Three of Swords is reminding you to take advantage, of these things that you experience. And this can also signify loss. So loss in the future, you may experience loss, but how do you feel about it? The way you react, the way you respond will determine what fills up that empty space that loss left behind. A loss is a black hole of creation. Everything comes into the loss and we lose it all, but then it all comes out of it as well. It's all still there. And eventually we're going to have this explosion of creation and something's going to fulfill that space. And so anything that you experience loss around in the future, be reminded that it's for your greater good. And I definitely think that we're losing our old ways. We're losing the old world. This certainly is a sign of the new world coming into the future. And we've got to be strong along the way. We've got to be confident. We've got to be able to cut those ties with ease, just like this Gemini full moon reminds us that we can do. We've got to embrace the power of the sword and move forward, letting go of our past and the way that it affects us. So in our past, we've experienced emotional overwhelm and instability, but there's still hope. We still have the power to regain balance. We're still in the Sagittarius we're still in this Sagittarius energy, this wanderlust energy, the go-getter energy, the huntress. Go after what you want right now. Move your energy through into a creative, productive way, a way that helps you expand. And as you are in this present moment right now, socially distanced, being forced to slow down, experience the full moon in a different way, do it all with gratitude. Find abundance in the separations, find abundance in the distance. Take time for wisdom and reflection, see what comes through, and make peace. It's time to make peace. It's time to not let these lower conflicting feelings reflect through your energetic exchanges. Give yourself permission to make peace and find balance. And as you move into the future, remember to stay positive. No matter what comes, stay positive. Every loss is an opportunity for gain. Every distance is an opportunity for deep breaths. We are in holy shifting times, and I didn't say that wrong. We're shifting in a very holy way. We're moving into a golden dawn age of awakening. And it's very holy and it's very cosmic and it vibrates very high, but it is very shifting along the way. Holy shift. And the Three of Swords is reminding us that we can do it all with ease. May these messages serve you during this full moon portal. May you have the guidance you need to continue on during this shifting time. May you trust in your inspirations, in your creative energy. May you lean into your flow. Lots of energy outside right now. So I don't have anything else for our circle tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I always try to keep these right at an hour. The replay will be available here on YouTube and on my website if everything records okay. I'll take one more drink of water to nourish this throat chakra that's about ready to be done, I think. If you have anything to say in the chat, any questions, any comments, feel free. Otherwise, we'll take a deep breath and seal our circle. Make sure to take care of yourself during this time. Make sure to nourish your gut health and your immunity. Make sure that you are just giving yourself plenty of rest, giving yourself the balance that you need, self-care that you need. Nothing's coming through on the chat, so I'm going to trust that all is well, that you've received what you need to hear. And with that, we are going to find our posture, bring our hands to heart. Remind ourselves to maybe burn that list after this or tear it up or get rid of it in some other way. And when you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Open mouth, exhale. With that, our circle is sealed. Blessings on this full moon. May you continue to move toward your dreams. May you have the power to let go of what doesn't serve. You are moving into your new, greater life with ease, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Namaste.